All right, welcome back, guys. This is the very first podcast episode for season 2. It's season 2, episode 1 for CB Rivals podcast. I'm CB, tournament organizer for CB Rivals, and we're going into our actual third season, but the first season is considered a kickstart season, so this is the official season 2 that is going to start on September the 11th. We have 23 teams once again ready to fight each other. 8 of those teams will be in the first division, the fuel division. But today we're going to be talking about the Rustic division with 15 teams divided in 2 groups of 8 and 7. And they will be playing 7 rounds and then followed by a tiebreakers between the top 2 from each group. And then 2 of those teams will be guaranteed to promote to the highest division next season, with the third team being allowed to play a tiebreaker match against the last place from the field division. So lots on the line for the Rustic division, and I'm actually not alone in this one for today. Korte was able to join us, but I do have Susnow with me, team captain, famous team captain from Endgegner, legendary I would say even. Endgegner is back, and I'm very excited about this. So welcome Susnow to the CB Rivals podcast and to CB Rivals as well. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me, man.
All right, perfect.
Happy to be here.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. It's really good to have Endgegner back. You guys have been playing so much tournaments in the past. Like the Endgegner legacy is pretty big if you just line it up. You wrote it to me because I asked all the teams, what is your history? And none of the teams can say this. 2021 CBL Championship, first place. Our tournament, 2021, first place. Tavern League, second place. Friday Night Fights, third place. Warlord League, fourth place. And I believe you even missed out the Frontier Blue tournament that happened also after CBL, right? What made you come back to the CB Rivals again?
It's actually the players, to be honest. Mm-hmm. It's actually the players. They've been asking so much to get on this CB Rivals scene. Mm-hmm. I just had basically no choice. Not gonna lie.
Cool. And what about you then? Because the players are not the only one that have to want to come back, of course.
I actually do want to get back into the competitive scene. The scene had a lot of improvement over the last year, I would say. So teams got better, and there's also supervisors with different rule sets and stuff. Mm-hmm. So I'm actually kind of excited and want to see how good we would actually perform if we would take place with a team that's pretty mixed. So we have about like 5-6 guys from the old CBL roster at the moment. Maybe there's some other old dudes coming back now. Who knows? And also a lot of rookies, to be honest. So we just we want to play the game. We want to have fun and want to see where it goes by just learning every scrum, learning every game, and really enjoying that journey.
Yeah, that's good. All right, and then before we go to more about the team and you as a team captain, I want to do something that we also did in the last seasons, which is first reactions. All right, so I'll just say 3 things to you, and you just say the first thing that comes to mind. Are you ready?
Sure.
Yep.
Yeah, sure.
All right, so here we go. Glaive.
It's in my closet.
Really? All right. Yeah, probably where it should be right now. Although there are some changes coming, so hopefully it will change next season. But we'll see what happens to the Glaive then. CBL.
I actually want to participate in the next one if our team gets there. Like we don't know how the improvement's gonna be. CBL is, I think, a really good place to get back on track and test the team. Also, like how fast they're going to be able to pick things up, how fast they're going to be able to become a true team again. And like CBL would be nice if we get another one soon.
Yeah, definitely would be nice. And that's kind of the question right now we all have, I believe, in the community. We just don't know if and when it will happen. So hopefully soon, because it is definitely a really cool tournament. Yeah. All right, and then the last one, CB Rivals.
I think CB Rivals is really big improvement to the competitive scene because so many guys just either come back to the competitive scene or start the competitive scene, no matter which server they're from. there's also players that just play a season and Team A, and the next season Team B.
Mm-hmm.
Point is, they're all playing, and they're all trying to get better, trying to compete with each other. I like the sportsman's like environment for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a really nice thing, and yeah, I'm really happy. There's actually CB Rivals.
Yeah, totally true. Yeah, so we'll talk more about CB Rivals and the team. But thank you for the quick introduction. All right. Mm-hmm.
Because tournament is also different. For me, it's also a little different because CB Rivals rules are not the CBL rules. So the play style is also kind of different. Apart from play style, like it did change a little as well from like from about a year ago, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, interesting. So then, because we're already diving into next season, but for those who don't know you, can you explain like what you, how did you as a team captain go into the competitive scene for Conqueror's Blade, and how did you evolve into being such a strong team with Endganger?
I think a lot of comes down to the Endgegner mentality, like of the community.
Mm-hmm.
So back in the day, it was even more competitive focused than it is right now. I think we value the community life and the social aspect of the community a bit more now than it was in the past, which is a lot more fun. Still, guys want to improve, and this was always the case. People come to EG to learn, to get better as a player, to get better as a team. And this really helped a lot also for those tournaments, because you were able to maybe do a scrim here and there. Back in the day, it was really hard actually to practice, but
yeah, I mean, you didn't even have to custom lobby, right? I mean, it all had to happen
yes,
on the tournament server, which was used then for core tournament or
exactly.
CBL.
You had to like team up with teams when the tournament server was live, and then try to scrim them, which we actually did a lot against Keyboard Warriors at the start of this, or like before the CBL even started. Like they were considered the strongest team, and I can say this now, they steamrolled us on the first scrims, like really really bad, and it really helped the team to grow. Like this team also, of course, was kind of experienced from the previous tournaments, but we also had some new guys again. It's always going to be the case that you're going to miss a couple guys, and you have to build up some new ones, take in some substitutes, maybe even substitutes of the substitutes. Right? And it was really, really good to see them grow during the tournament. Like the team that you saw in the finals was not the team that started the tournament for sure. Which also has a lot to do with custom games not being available before, and we just took a lot of scrims, which a lot of teams do now. I think also the average team quality and performance is just way higher than in the past. But some mistakes teams do are still the same. So
Yeah, probably,
I think we have a shot to not place bottom. And if I would rate EG, I would probably give it the J tier for just lucky. Since
who knows?
it was a little meme about like us also winning CBL and just being lucky, but I don't know, like we did it like strategically on the final. We played right into our hands. We got exactly what we wanted, like the first 4 games, and the rest was calculated. So we were like in a really, really good spot there. Also expected a little bit more answers from the enemy team to what we play, but I think they just were thinking of the EG that they met before the tournament and scoring against them. Across the board, they had way better individual players. Like, of course, we had also some really good ones. But if you take the average skill level of Keyboard Warriors, for example, and of EG, like Keyboard Warriors was way higher. We just won by really, really good decision making and team play.
Yeah, it also was a very long series, right? If I remember correctly.
Yeah, like
it went to the last game, right?
Not the last game though.
Oh no, you won on game 6. I remember because
yeah, exactly. We won on game 6. We like went 3-0 at the start, which was really nice because I told my guys to like the goal is to win like 1 out of the first 2 games. This was the goal. And then we won the first 2 and the first 3. And when we won the 3 games, I told them, how about 7 games, guys? You want to play 7 games?
Yeah. And then it happened almost. Yeah.
And then, we did lose the last game of Heidenfeld because we did a mistake, and Keyboard Warriors punished us really well for it. Was a really deserved win. Mistake our side, really well executed on their side. And on Haber City, we knew we're gonna have the better chance on offense, which we also won, and defense we did lose. It was a good trade-off, I think, because if we would have lost both, we would have still had this side that we would have preferred for the field battle, which we were feeling like really confident on.
Yeah, that's really cool. So you had a couple interesting points there. You mentioned like the quality of the players, and also like comparing them to now. Who were standout players back then? I would almost say like a year ago when Endgame was at the top on your team, but also in Keyboard Warriors that you like remember or that are still playing now. Then
I think talking about individually skilled player, like solo players, probably was Trilink, was Stormy Sanchez, and also Magna. Probably those three the most solo outstanding guys. Saying that Trilink always had kind of like a solo job in those games, and he performed so well on them, which was really, really fortunate for us.
Yeah, absolutely. He was always was playing with the spear. I think he still is quite often, right? Still playing the spear as one of the only
Yeah,
ones.
he just loves spear. Like I tried to get him
so
into bike a little bit, but he just denies me.
imagine.
Like I have no chance. I just wanna play spear.
Yeah, and he still executes on it. It's insane how.
Yes.
That's really impressive. So I definitely hope to see a lot of Trilink this season because he's still with you. If I
yes, he actually is.
So that's going to be
playing
very,
as much as I would wish, but things can change though.
Yeah, exactly. And he's still there, so who knows what can happen. Yeah. Shout out to Trilink. But yeah, that's really cool. And then the other thing that you mentioned is the average level of teams may have gotten better. Most likely also, of course, because almost any team, even the weaker teams, are able to scrim now and play in a custom lobby against each other. So I'm really curious. You've also scrimmed a lot. You've even scrimmed today, I know. So what can you say about the average level of teams compared to when you were winning the CBL?
It's way higher now because it's got to be the custom game scrim, and it's got to be the CB Rivals League for sure, which just got so many people involved into a more competitive gameplay, which I'm really thankful of. Like it's great getting more players connected to a competitive scene, and even got the Endgegners back to the scene as well. Like my players were just really, really asking to join the league. So I had basically no choice. I didn't have a choice. So like also so many rookies on the board, and they all want to do it. And I'm just gonna I'm not gonna choose players actually that are like really good now. I choose the guys that are like consistent, come into practice to scrim, that I know are motivated and actually do something to get better. Because if I have like a really good player who doesn't do anything to get better, he's always gonna stay at the same level. And those guys have like kind of unlimited potential. Of course, it's limited, but like you can get way more good things out of those guys for sure.
Yeah, for sure, absolutely. Yeah, that's something actually we also heard a lot from Pyan, for example, from Pontguard, but also Temple Shot from Plebs, that it's not always about the individual players. Rather, it's more about how good those players are able to play as a team, together. Because in the end, like you also mentioned at the start, it's more about growing as a team and working together really well in a tournament like this.
For sure, but like if you have like this insane individual player, name him whatever, name him like I don't know, Chocolate Banana, and Chocolate Banana is like super, super good. He needs the space, and he needs to have the freedom to actually show off and gets to have this consistency by his team. This gonna enable him like those kind of plays even. Because if the team doesn't enable those kind of things, like the star player cannot shine.
Yeah, absolutely true. And something else that, of course, has changed as well over the time is the meta, the units, the gameplay, but even perhaps I know that we share a common love for Sakali and Militia.
Oh yeah,
right. Yeah, absolutely. And when you were playing CBL, I think the Sakali and Militia were one of the only specialist units actually in the game, and you guys were one of the first to pull it out in the tournament scene. And that, I think that unit really changed, especially the tournament game, and then later on also maybe the Siege and the Ranked eventually. And now we have Shenji, we have the Flamers, we have the Falconetti, of course. They were always there, but they were most of the time banned. How do you look at the meta and the units now with so many specialist units that can impact the game in so many different ways?
It got more diverse for sure. I
Mhm.
think if you just break it down, it's still the same game. You just have kind of different tools which are kind of similar to other tools that already existed, and maybe just a mixture of two tools, and I have like an upside and a downside. I think Varangians are just a bit too much at the moment. They still have their weak side, but it's super hard to abuse them, or to abuse the opponent playing them. And yeah, Falcos are still super strong. I would expect every team to just ban them against us as well, because we've been like really experienced with them in the past, which is also pretty good for us, because if you always know like what's going to get banned against you, for example, like we never ban in scrims. I always give the enemy team to the option to ban like 0, 1, or 2 units they can choose, and just to get our team ready to play against anything. Because if I always take like a special thing out, if I take whatever, like if it would be like Cav, if I would take Cav out the entire time, and then I play against the team which has something else they are really good at, and I need to ban it actually, but I can't because my team cannot play against Cav.
Yeah, exactly.
So this is yeah, how we usually scrum, and I think this is a good way on getting players ready to face
Yeah,
anything.
definitely. Yeah, I get it. Like you don't need to win the practice; you need to win the actual game, right, in the tournament, and
Yeah.
those are the ones that matter. It totally makes sense. Yeah, for sure. Um, Looking more at yourself as a team captain, because you've been with the team for the longest. You're the face of the team, being the team captain, of course, the leader for it. Probably the most, maybe not the most famous player, but definitely the most famous face on the team. How do you look at your own role inside the team, being part of Endganger, being Endganger?
I think it kind of changed over time as well. Like I'm
Mm.
doing this not for like 3 years.
Mhm.
It's not 3 years yet. It's almost 3 years. I think when was Warlord League in 2019? Probably also like during the fall or whatever.
Mhm.
So it's got to be around 3 years. And I think at the start I was more kind of solo leading. Of course, Camera always had a big part in it, since we were like dual leading the house uh, on the live servers.
Yeah,
So we were also
back in
kind
the
of like
U2, right? Because you're now
yeah,
in
and
the
then we were
U1.
kind of dual leading the AG team as well, and also doing next strats together. Like CBL was already like completely like dual work, and it's got more evolved into like more players getting involved in those kind of things, and me also trying to take more help from others, and also trying to give more, to teach more. We also on live service we try to build short callers. We were successful doing so last season already, got a really good one out of this. The next one is on the line, and just passing on the experience, because I'm getting old. I need the next generation to carry me, to be honest. And yeah, we're just trying to do exactly that.
Nice. Yeah, all right. If you say it, if you put it like that, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, so you say that you definitely had help. Like it was not just you. I mean, and I guess that's very fair to say, of course. You definitely had a big part, though. What do you feel is your strength, being one of the leaders of the team then?
My strength is probably just theoretical, boring paperwork, and I have a pretty good knowledge about like what's gonna work out. Pretty good reading on like what's going on right now, where like opportunities to take. And if you would compare me to other short callers, like my short calling isn't even that great, to be honest. Could be much better. I also know players, even like another shot caller of us, which is just better at shot calling than me. Just better calling. I just think, and when it comes down to strat, and people just gonna write macro chat and macro god in chat now or something, then it's actually exactly that. Pretty good on reading those. I think I had problems in the past getting a little too emotional over a lot of things. Started in T-War in season 0, season 1, where I was like going all the way through those tournaments. Got better in the end. I think our tournament was already kind of better in CBL. I kind of got the change kind of in. I didn't completely change back then, but like the way I'm now is just kind of turned in during the CBL, I would say.
Interesting. Yeah, really. That was
Yeah,
a really
for
great
sure.
learning
Like
experience. Yeah.
the experience, and also to know how important the mental state of the players is, like also my own mental state, right? You have to really learn to chill, take losses, be really, really reasonable about anything, and really calm is super, super important. And you need to know how to motivate the players, right? I mean, some players maybe need like someone who is like really getting into things, but like not everyone is the same. And I feel like lately, like in the past year, there's so many players that really need a really healthy environment in the community, also into like the tournament team, and this is really working out for us, I feel like.
Interesting. Yeah.
So of course there's still like some eager like moments or whatever where also other people get really into everything, and this is fine because this is part of the competitive stuff, I
Yeah,
think.
for sure.
But
Yeah.
it's really controlled, and people can just put the switch on and be really reasonable, structured, calm down, get a breather, get things sorted, think logical about the game and what just happened, and how to like switch things like from a loss like to the next game.
Interesting. So then, do you feel like the end game from now being calm and collected, and then still being very strong, probably as a team and individuals, is more dangerous than you used to be?
If we get rolling, probably is. If we can take off, like I can't say it for now. Our team has done a lot of improvement over the last weeks, so I'm really, really happy at what state we are right now. Same goes for EG, since we did a rebuilding like 2 seasons ago. I think it's already, if I would say it's already next season, and this season, yeah, I was last season, right? And this season we were like also getting even better. So it's pretty fine.
Yeah.
I mean,
So definitely confident in what's coming up and in the things that you're doing right now. Then.
yeah, and we can also lose some because we know we just want to get into players. It's a learning experience. We got so many new guys on the team. I want to take as much pressure off them as I can, and so it's really, really nice to get rated pretty low on certain like discords from other team captains. That's really, really helps me actually building the team, and I'm really grateful. Like I didn't expect it, so that's really nice.
Yeah, definitely cool. And that's also the thing that I enjoyed so much about Super Rivals is that so many players are coming back. Actually, I mean, even you, I believe, stopped playing the game for a little bit, right? You tried some other games, and then eventually you came back, and also more players now are coming back from
Oh,
Endgame apparently. And, yeah.
that's actually true. Like after the CBL tournament, the first one, we did switch to EO1, and we thought like, dude, like if we go EO1, right now we just won CBL, we're not gonna have recruiting issues, do we? And we just sit there and we cannot recruit. We can't get players, and we don't know where the issue is. And people were just so yeah, they just won everything basically. So we had also some players that when we joined EO1, they immediately like switched somewhere else because they said like they achieved everything with us. They want to try something new, and you can't blame them.
I see. Well, and new, you mean like with a new team or a new game?
Yeah, kind of. And
yeah.
So we actually at some point decided to just take a break because, yeah, we got everything we ever wanted, and now we can't really recruit. We can't continue at this moment, and it was like real life also interfering with a couple of the big guys here, also myself and Camara as well, who actually just got back to the game.
Nice.
Gladly to announce Camara's back. So
Yeah.
the better part of me, since we were always duo leading EG, is back now, which
So
is
be
super, super
prepared.
great.
Yeah.
And yeah, like recruiting is going fine. People start coming back and enjoying the different environment that they have now in EG, which was probably not the same like a year ago. But it's really nice, and we still go for this, try to improve, get better, look for fights, no FK T-Wars, and this is the same how we want to go for tournaments, right? We just want to play the game to have fun and get better just by playing every scrim after every CBR Rivals game. We're gonna try to watch some VODs, go down to the basics, and go from there.
Yeah, sounds good. Excellent. All right. Before we talk more about next season, the games, the matches, perhaps the maps, even or whatever else is coming up, let's go to something that is highly anticipated by the community, and we've had a lot of fun already with it. It is the tier list. We did it last season for the first time. Back then, for the Rustic division, I did it with Blake, team captain from Chocolate Paladins, and I invited you to talk about the tier list for this season. So I hope you're ready for it. I know you at least know most of the teams, some of the players. So we'll see how far it goes. Before we start with it, guys, take a lot of salt, like a lot of salt. I actually ate a couple of grams of salt today by accident on my pancake. I think it was good preparation for this tier list. So if you have some salt left in your closet, take it out right now. You're gonna need it because especially on the Rustic division tier list, guys, we do not know most of these teams. Some teams may be well known on their like server or EU1, EU2, but we know by now that the tournament is entirely different compared to your territory wars. All right, so you might be a good team on TW, but you might not be a good team on tournament. So it's very different. And like we said, just good individual quality is not going to mean you're going to be a good team, but also maybe you are a good team. So there's a lot of ifs and don'ts and whatever nots. So we're just going to make the best of it and make a good guess and see how far we get. All right. I put up the tier list on the screen. If you're watching it on YouTube, if you're listening it, you just have to listen closely. Before we do that, I'll go over the 15 teams real quickly. All right, so here they are. First of all, we've got Love and Devotion from EU2, team captain Rinky, co-captain Grus, and actually placed 5th in the CBR season 0 and 6th place in the second league last season. Then we have Crypta, also from EU2. They played really well in the play-in division last season. Team captain is Dial and co-captain Ace Gradbo. Then we got Chocolate Goblin, a new team from NA that is partly Chocolate Paladins, some of Pond Guard players as well, a good core, led by Oliver the Golden, a team captain that you may know. Used to be leading Unbroken, for example, one of the other NA teams that played our tournament, I believe, together with Pond Guard, and co-captain is Canadian Cowboy. Then we have Alayna Mermi. Might rape it, but who knows, it might be good. Led by Lalama the Kodine and Sever Keko. And they actually say that all their players are players to watch. So pretty confident team there. Then we got Adamant, also from EU1, led by Shizzy and Iadi van Konev. Nothing else I know about them, but we might know more once we go to the team. Then we got Golem's Life, also from EU1, led by Alpin. We got Apes, also EU1, led by Ice Eagle and Spencer, and they're a new team. Then we have only Cavs from NA and EU, mixed team, led by AZ Ninja and D3TH. Then we got, and there's a lot many teams, guys. There's Pelly Old School, 3rd place in the play-in division last season, won some games, played really well. All veterans from Spain. We got Baguette Munchers, well-known team from last season, Rustic division. I've been playing at the bottom in most of their seasons, but they might be getting better. They've been playing so many tournaments now. They might actually do something. Gum Faction, led by Gladsheimer, previously a caster, but decided to actually start playing some games and actually leads a team now. Pretty cool story. He used to also lead a university team with esports, so they're using the same logo, the same name, Gum Faction Mix, a good team. And then we have Just Press One, led by Rocky and Tugai from EU2. More teams from EU2 this time, actually. Warbus, also from NA, Shoot, and it's Gussie Mac. Really cool logo, by the way. Love it, guys. Fear of the Slavs, from the House Legacy of the Slavs from EU2, Oda Kenji, and FKX Wix Ferry. And then, last but not least, Endgegner, the team we all know, led by Susnow and maybe Camara in the future, who knows. And well, you know their history by now. We've said it at the start of the podcast. So these are all the teams. I hope you're still with us. It's a long list, 15 teams. They're all divided in two groups, but we're not going to do each group individually because at the end they will be playing each other at the end of the season. So we need to rank them from 1 to 15, I believe. All right, my voice almost cracked out. All right, Susnow, back to you, because I'm gonna need a team that you feel you know something about and that you want to rank first.
Which one I want to rank first? I actually know which one I'm ranking first on Rustic Division. It's Panda Old School, definitely.
All right, go ahead.
They're looking the most solid on the scrims, and if they would improve at the speed that we are improving right now, which is pretty fast, then they're gonna succeed us in this Rustic tier this season most likely. But not sure yet. We're performing way better against them than like this week and then last week. So we're doing fine. They need to just run faster, I think. And they're really strong. I like a lot of things that I see. They're really, really aggressive plays. Super, super nice to play against. Doing a good job at the game.
All right, interesting. So where do you rank them?
First. This is what
just like first, really. So
this is my first
on
the Rustic Division. This is first.
Epic. Okay, this is honestly a hot take from me. I'll just put it in S tier later, but I might change it later. Who knows? Because we're going to make a split tier list, right? I believe Paella S tier is based on definitely your experience then swimming them, which is feels to me like being very realistic. But seeing them last season in the playing division struggling quite a bit, I wouldn't place them this high, but I'll go with you for now, and we'll see what else comes up. All right, what's the next?
Should I just place EG last? No, it's probably not fair, right?
No, that's not fair. All right, I'll place EG for you. To be honest, I was planning to put you guys in A tier, and here is why. Like, looking at the history, right? Of course, the team is not the same, but I know that the core of the team is the same. It's you. It's quite a few really good players that still are like trying, like we talked about. So you've shown, unlike so many other teams that we have now in the Rustic Division, that you were able to play in a tournament scene. You know what it takes to win games in a tournament scene, and you know how to evolve while you're playing more and more games. So you know how to stick together. And we've seen for how many teams that is very difficult. So I feel like we have to put Endganger at least in A tier.
I think A should be fine experience-wise, and let's see if we can deliver.
Yeah.
I would actually agree.
Yeah, I mean, I would be really surprised if you don't make it out of groups. Would you be?
Yes. To be honest, I think playoffs is by all means is doable.
Yeah. So that already puts you at least at the very least B tier, but I feel like you should at least be an A tier. All right. So there you go. Endgegner, A tier for now. All right. What's your next team then?
A team that I would place like really low would be Gum Faction at the moment. Also just experience from scrims.
All right, interesting.
I think they have a lot of stuff to do. Like if I say like restart, like they have even more to do to just get a general idea of what they want to do. That can go actually pretty quick, but at the moment they're like not right feeling it or not right having the communication going. I don't know what's going on there. The scrum was kind of underwhelming. I expected them to play a bit better from like the roster.
That's interesting because that would also
have team issues at the moment, and if they can fix them, they can be decent. At the moment, I think they just need to fix the roots. Definitely.
Interesting. Yeah. So Gum Faction is one of the teams I actually expect quite a bit from, because I know Glatsheimer is who has a lot of connections within the community. I know he can bring in good players. I know Sexy Rebels is a good player as well. So there's a couple of good players who've also played in tournaments or for Impact, for example. Take Lalama Badi Alex, who played with Play Medias before. Tomchi, who also played tournaments. So there's a couple of guys that I know and I've seen. So do you feel like we should place them in the C or D tier then?
Let's be fair and place them on C tier.
All right. So we'll give them the benefit of the doubt based on your scrim scrimming against them at
Yes,
least.
I know.
Yeah.
Maybe they just all had a bad day too, right? Like, who
Mm.
knows?
Yeah, exactly. Again, taken with a bit of salt. All right. Another team that I'm really excited to talk about is Chocolate Goblins now, because I know a little bit about this team. I've once had the opportunity to play with, what was it called again? It was like a combination of NA and EU. Like uh, we played as a weird team for the core tournament, I believe it was. But it was really fun, led by Oliver the Golden, and he's a really good team captain, so I have a lot of faith in him. And Blake from Chocolate Paladin actually stepped down as team captain due to personal life, but he's still going to play for the team. But this team has a really strong core of Bond guard players, like I mentioned. So I do expect this team to come out pretty strong. We know there's a lot of teams from NA that are joining the CB Rifles, so we know that there's a better scrimming opportunity now for those teams. So I am very tempted to put them in B or A tier. What do you feel about that team?
It's pretty reasonable. Point guard was always consistent.
Mm-hmm.
And if they have a bunch of point guard guys in, maybe just the vibes swap over. I don't know if they also have some old ICO guys. I don't even know if they get along. I just like if I hear NA, I always feel like, oh, these are the nice guys. They're always like lovely. NA is just so polite and it's so fun, and that's also the reason why in the past I did play with an NA team in one of the tournaments as a solo player, and it was just a really nice experience. I really love the NA community.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely agree with that. I've played with Pondegard once and also with the Umroka team. Yeah, definitely a good group of guys, and they know how to shape a team, and they also take the preparation very seriously. So, all right, I'll put them in A tier. We might change it later, but I do feel like they really have a good chance to build up over the season, even if they don't start as strong as they maybe could. All right, who's the next one then?
Good question. Are we just gonna continue with NA and talk about Warbus?
Oh yeah, sure, we could. Yeah. What do you know about them?
Actually, not that much.
Mm-mm.
Not too much that I could 100% rate him.
Yeah. So I know that. All right. So it's Gussie Max and Shoot. I know those guys are like big names in the community. For and I honestly don't know many of their players. Maybe I should have like gotten to them and talked to them about what their plans are. Their house is Warriors Nation. Some of the guys from NA3 will probably know whether that's really good or not. But yeah. To be honest, I don't know too much about them. I know they haven't played in tournaments. At least I don't recognize any of their players. Maybe some of them
Yeah,
have.
that's what I was gonna ask because I don't recognize either.
Exactly. Yeah. So based on that, we might be totally wrong, but I feel like we are basically forced to put them in C or D tier because we know that there are so many teams from NA, right, who have been playing. Players also played from NA will be playing tournaments, and they've been playing quite well. But then we also have had players or teams that didn't perform quite well. And I know we just don't know about Warbus yet. So for now, being a totally new team with players that we don't know, I'll put them in D tier. You okay with that?
Sure. Agree.
All right.
I would also set like COD.
Yeah, but would you put them at the same level as Gun Faction, knowing some of their players, knowing that they have some
at the moment they probably
have...
play if Warbus plays like a new team and they would play versus Gum Faction, I think it would be close and Gum Faction would win because of individual skill. So yeah, let's place them at the D, but I have no clue about
totally
if they maybe have potential, because it's always dangerous if you don't know the players.
And again, I totally hope to be proven wrong over the season, so we'll see. All right, then we go to Only Caps, the other NA team. And I've mentioned it before, but their team is, let me get it here. Where is it? Only Caps, led by AZ Ninja. And they too are a team that I honestly don't know too much about. I know that our moderator, I believe they have some players from the Looking for team from last season. You've casted the game from them, if I remember correctly. So there's a few players from the looking for team. So they might have some experience. There's also Queen Angelus, who I believe is a player who was well known in the NA scene. But again, another team that, just like Warbus, I don't know too much about. Is there anyone that you recognize?
Recognize Queen Angelus, I met her once. Uncooked Bananas is just familiar to me. I have no clue why. Who else in there? I think that should be about it. Yeah, I would just rate them same as Warbus at the moment, or C. Maybe C, because if they have a lot of looking for team guys that did play the tournament already, then they probably have a better start. Yeah, but it would be C or D for me.
Yeah. All right. Again, we might be totally wrong, but we have to make a educated guess. Let's say it that way. But we'll definitely contact one of the NA guys and have them talk about the tier list for the NA teams next time, guys. All right. Let's go to the other teams. Do you want to go EU1 or EU2?
We could go EU1 actually. How about Baguette Munchers, since they're my
sure.
group?
Yeah, go ahead.
To be honest, not really clue. I think it's Immortals players, a lot of them, like Jamnars in there, and I see Starburst and those guys. Yeah, looks like a lot of Immortals player to me. It's EU1 and NA3, so how's this kind of mixed?
Yeah, definitely. So Baguette Munchers have been struggling a lot. Last in the season 0 and the season 1 for Super Ravs as well. They were also fighting at the bottom. Like they could hardly get any wins. They even lost against Trikey, the other team that lost so many games. So I'm not very confident in Baguette Munchers, to be honest. I mean, they've been playing for a long time now together. But if I look at this, like you said, EU1 and NA3 now, it used to be just EU1, so they are probably reshaping again. So I do hope that they find synergy and that they stick together as a team. But I feel very tempted to even now still put them in D tier.
I would actually go C tier, just because I know the Immortals mentality, which I was surprised of, because I didn't think they would stay strong. Last season we did get him in kind of end of the season when we did fight Clown Fiesta. We were like the only alliance contesting Reginopolis on year 1. Only guys are fighting Clown Fiesta until the end. The other ones just ran to Borderlands to get some rewards, and like I expected a lot from Immortals, like a lot of things, but I didn't expect them to just have fun, fight the entire time, and like pull it through till the end. And they even like had also like their small wins against Clown Fiesta, which was really really nice to see. And I think the mindset is good to just make D tier not an option. I think.
All right.
Mindset is really good.
Okay. I'll trust you on this one then. You being calm and collected and having learned a lot about mindset. So we'll stick.
Yeah, mindset is super important.
Yeah, it is. It is totally, absolutely true. You're correct about that one. All right, then let's continue with EU1. Get out any other team. If you know any of them.
Adamant is one that's just familiar to me by like TW, right? Like from EU1. So
Adamant the Bear.
They played last season as well, true?
Adamant?
Yes.
No, they haven't played, but I know that a lot of their players have played on teams.
Okay.
So I believe there's a couple of guys from Rose. So the guys that's the team that played in the highest division. I believe they are playing with Adamant now. Yeah, so a lot of Russian guys there. So I do believe that they have a really good core of players.
Okay.
I'm not exactly specific, like sure about like their team as a whole, but because I know that there's a lot of Rose guys in there and some other names that I recognize, I was kind of tempted to put them in B tier.
I think B is kind of fine.
No,
that's fine. I think A would be too high. But,
yeah, totally. A would be too high, but yeah,
B is probably a comfort zone for them at the moment.
All right, let's just stick them in there. All right, Ali Mameri then, and again, I hope I said it right. I'll be corrected later. Do you know anything about those players? The Turkish team? Let me get them. I have to
I
find
tried
them.
to look up the player names to get an
Yeah,
impression.
same. All right, here it is. Yeah. Oh yeah. So they have a lot of quite a few of the Lalama guys. They have Samurai Keko, the Kodain, also some guys from YAA. That's a team that quit or disbanded because their team captain Jackler wasn't able to like get the team going. Unfortunately, he wanted to, but again, private personal life, which happens. So I believe this team is actually probably quite good. Because YA was really good at the Rustic division. They were the ones fighting for first place against Kebabs, and Kebabs is really good. They even won a game against Kebabs. So quite a lot of their players are really good, and they're also coming from really good teams. So
Yeah, I'm just looking at the roster.
yeah,
Like this looks really fortunate for them. I think
Mhm.
they have a good start. It's just gonna depend on if they're gonna like just rely on the individual skill that they have on the
Mhm.
board, or if they actually succeed as a team as well.
yeah,
But I would probably give them like a spot for sure,
yeah.
like
Right.
from my point of view. Or would you
Yeah.
even like say that you would rate them higher?
Yeah, tricky. I honestly, I'm not sure if I would rate any team right now S tier, to be honest. But again, I trust you for the pill, yeah? I'll just go with it. I love it.
I just want to give him
Yeah,
some
yeah,
credit. I just want to give him some credit
exactly.
because
Just
they
give
were
him
like
some
playing
fame here.
really, really nice, and was refreshing to see some guys
Mhm.
also doing some really good things on the game.
Yeah, that's really good. Nice. Okay, so I'm very tempted to put them at least an 8 tier for sure. Maybe at the end we might change some teams over to like one tier higher or lower. We'll see. But let's put them
Okay.
in 8 tier for now. Yeah. All right. Then we have next team. Let's go to the U2 team. Let's go to Crypta. Crypta is a team that we saw playing last season. I actually saw their tiebreaker game as well against Wildblood, and they played very impressively together. They've been together for a long time now, also fighting to the TWs. They maybe haven't. They've also been fighting in the Polish league, so they've been playing more tournaments than just the CB Rivals. I don't know if you recognize any of their players from ranked or maybe even from back in the day from EU2.
Peko Beer is familiar, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
But like I'm getting old. Like my memories are not like
That's fine. That's fine.
working that well.
Yeah, you may have casted one of their games. I'm not sure back like last season, but yeah, that's a long time ago now. Yeah, so for Crypta, I'm not sure if they are A tier, but I'm really confident in putting them in B tier.
Yeah, I would say B for sure.
Yeah, I definitely would. I
B
mean,
sounds
in general, we still see that EU2 isn't always able to keep up with level EU1 for some reason. So never sure about that one. All right. Another team from EU2 that I really like to talk about is Fury of the Slavs. They are from a team Legacy of the Slavs, mostly Polish team, or used to be a very Polish team. I believe they even have some affiliation. Used to have at least some affiliation with the Slavs guy who are playing in the highest division. Might be wrong about it, but I recognize some of their players. Having played with those, and there's also, for example, Tio Maros, who used to be with Slavs as well. So they might be a really good team. They've won the EU2 TWs for I believe 2 seasons in a row now.
okay.
So again, we haven't seen them in a tournament, although they actually have played the Polish league, I believe, as well, and they probably got second there against Slavs, second or third. So
I like the highest I was rated was probably B at the moment.
B.
From
Yeah.
what kind of environments they have to practice, and I mean U2 T-War level just decreased a lot. Like at least the guys that still play on U2 tell me that. It's really different from in the past, and if they also kind of have like a new team, they probably need some time to get things started.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, so again, I do believe that they play in the Polish league, so that would actually make me very tempting, make it very tempting for me at least to put them in A tier.
Okay.
At least above Crypta, because I know they've beaten Crypta quite a few times, right? And this is maybe where 15 teams for 5 tiers is maybe too much. because she kind of wanted like an A+ or something. But all right, we may have to shift around a little bit more at the end. All right, we'll see. We'll see. Apes, Golem's Life, Just Press One, or Love and Devotion. Which one do you want?
I like Golem's Knife just because of the name.
All right, let's go to
It's
that.
an easy name. Good to
Yeah,
remember.
it is easy.
Good
Yeah,
name.
they also got a really funny logo. For those who haven't seen it, make sure to check it out. All right, Golems. What do we know about it? Do we know anything about it?
Just seeing if I can identify anyone on the team, but no familiar names anymore. To me, at least.
Yeah, for me neither. I do believe it's quite a lot of French guys on the team, just because of the French flag they put on in the team stuff. I believe Alpine also used to be, but yeah, again, not sure about the team. I believe we may have to do the same as we did with Warbus, saying, "All right, we
Yeah,
don't know
like
any of these guys. We don't recognize them.
agree.
We don't
Yeah.
see them in the on the tournament team so far."
D stands for we don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Just, we don't know. You might be really good, but we just don't know. Yeah. All right. Okay. Let's just continue. And guys, you can flame us really hard on the general chat or something. I don't care. Just make it a good argument on why you should be D, like C, B, or A, or D tier. It's totally fine. All right. Apes or just plus one?
Let's go Apes.
All right, Apes. Another funny logo, by the way. We used to have another team of Apes trying to get into the season, like CB Rivals last season. They
I
didn't get in at the
recognize
end.
Scrum partners again.
Yeah. All right, this is good. This is good. We got something going then. All right, tell me.
I think they have potential, but they're also not quite there yet. From what I think, maybe we just had a really good day. I don't know. We just saw Scrimton this week. Maybe sometimes it's also like it's not their map, right? Like you just have this where you just fight a team on a map, and it's just like, who the fuck are we playing? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, like some maps are just really good for some teams, and some are not working out that much. They look kind of shaky.
Yeah,
But
might be.
to be honest, we've been missing some guys because I was also late for that day, and they actually, because we scrimmed them, had some leftovers that fit our team slot. So that was really nice of them.
Cool.
So
yeah, so that tells us a couple of things, because I recognize quite a lot of players have played for another team in the past, like Rhaegar, Tao, Yoda. So there's definitely a lot of guys not sure as well, I believe. So at least a face or name that I remember, remember. So at least definitely some familiar names, and hearing from you that there are a lot of players on their side who want to play, that is also a good sign, at least.
Yes, for sure.
All right, so that's a good start. Let's put it that way. So that would allow me to put them into B or C tier, I guess.
I would say C to B probably. If they fix a couple of things, they'd B for sure, and have potential, I think. They have a lot of experience also on the board. They have guys that did play NEG. I think was last season, like the Haven guys. I didn't play tournaments though, so yeah, didn't get a lot of experience on that. But Ice Eagle and Suki are also pretty experienced players. That even I remember or like know at the moment. So I would give him a good shot here.
Yeah,
from my point of view.
All right, perfect. Yeah, so benefit of the doubt. Let's put it there at least. All right, then just press one. I want to finish with Love and Devotion, because I feel like some in the community believe that they might be actually pretty good this season. All right, so just press one. Led by Rocky. There's also Forsaken Octavian, player that.
I was like, if everyone in this team plays like Forsaken Octavian, dude, like this is scary
exactly.
as shit. So like, such a good player. I also know him from like partly EG times, and a really good individual dude. Really fun guy, and if he can like motivate his team together with the team captain with Rocky, they should have a good shot. I don't know if we just give him a good rating because of Forsaken. Would be too much, I think. But
that would be a solo carry performance.
Yeah, I wouldn't give him D just because if Forsaken is playing on the team, that also means that, I mean, he's not going to waste his time over there most likely. So I would probably start giving them the C. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm kind of with you on the B to C tier, right? Like A is too much for sure, D is too low, probably based on some of the names that we see. Um, yeah, so
Do you know more
tricky,
of the
tricky.
guys?
Oh man, do I know more of the guys? Not really, no. Like not that I believe some of them. Oh, Rumil actually, I remember him as well. He's also the team captain or co-captain. Yeah, so I believe some of the guys have played with either Impact or who was it again? There were too many roster changes to actually keep track of, which is a shame. Like maybe we should. It would have been so interesting, but also so much work to actually keep track of all the players switching teams. But yeah, there's definitely some familiar names. But
If you want to give him B, like I'm open.
yeah, exactly. Let's put them in B tier. We may again
Okay.
switch it around a little bit later. All right, Love and Devotion, last team, and we finally made it through, guy. It took us a long time, but we made it almost. So here's what I heard about Love and Devotion. I've heard that they've been scrimming really well. I know that they are scrimming, or have always been scrimming against some of the top teams, even in the highest division. And they've been sticking together now for well, at least 3 seasons now. So they are an experienced team. So I'm not sure if you've scrimmed them or if you know anything more about them, but I've heard some rumors that they might be getting a lot better over the last couple of seasons.
We didn't scrim it, so I can't say for sure. I recognize a couple names, either from Ranked Games or from EU2 here. Not really sure about it, but it's a great name though. Let's give them 1 tier higher for sure. Just
Yeah, true. Yeah, so yeah, again, I'm not sure. Okay, so the thing here is that there's also Bubbles. For those who don't know Bubbles, he's famous on EU2. I believe he transferred to EU1 though. But Bubbles, I kind of like you, but again, you know that there's something going on here when Bubbles is there. No, just kidding. But yeah, there's definitely really good guys on that team that have been playing for a long time together, and I know that they were better than Trike, for example, last season. They were better than Baguette Munchers. So if we put Baguette Munchers in C tier, Love and Devotion would have to be at least B tier.
yeah, and I wouldn't not give him higher than A.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? Like again, I feel like in B tier is where they would sit quite well right now with the current teams that we have. All right, then we have all teams. So let's go quickly over them. I'll start at D tier, go up to S tier. So at D tier, we have Warbus, Golem's Life. C tier, we have Gum Faction, Only Cast, Baguette Munchers, and Apes. B tier, we have Adamant, Crypta, Just Press 1, and Love and Devotion. A tier, we have Engagner, Chocolate Goblins, Alini Mamari, and Fury of the Slavs. And then in S tier, the only one in S tier, promoted by Susnow himself, is Paella Old School. So the Spanish veterans have got something to prove here, and we'll see how they make it out of the groups after a couple of weeks. But yeah,
if they don't get out of the groups, like I'm in trouble, so they have to get out of groups now.
Yeah, they have to at least. Like we need to rig the tournament or something, because if they don't get out of groups, then what have we done here? Yep. All right, so best of luck to all the teams. I hope that some of you can surprise us and show us how good you are. I hope that you have fun at the very least, because that will be the most important, of course. Playing the tournament is just a lot of fun. I mean, there's nothing really at stake other than guts and glory. So have fun, guys, and I hope you enjoyed the tier list. Here it is. We'll post it on Discord as well after the podcast is out, and we'll talk a little bit more about the coming season with you, Susnow, if you're still cool with that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah?
For sure.
All right, here we go then. Looking at the season, we know the maps, we know the schedule, and I would like to talk about the maps with you, because, like you said, you're a guy who knows a lot about preparing maps. I believe you also always have a really good read on the meta. So how do you look at the maps from this season?
I'm super happy Highland Fjord got picked, and I was exactly at the same point. I was super sad that it didn't get picked like 2 times.
What do you like about it so much? Because I know you really love it. You've been playing a lot on CBL as well and other tournaments. So what is it you like about it?
It was just our comfort zone. There was the map where Keyboard Warriors was beating us up, really really bad, and we just spent so much time and getting to know how to play the map,
Mm-hmm.
and knowing what kind of stuff you can do and in what situation you can go for which kind of plays, that we're like super comfortable on that one.
Mm-hmm.
I would say like if there's like a home ground for EG, it's probably this map. So yeah, it's for us it's pretty good because it's the first map to be played, right? I
Yeah.
mean, it's only like a 6 players that still have this comfort zone, but it's also me having this comfort zone on this map. So
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we gonna have a good start on this one.
All right.
Hiding Fjord's also really nice because you don't have to put towers. It goes really really quick. It just starts off and immediately you're gonna see action.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is actually one of
It's
the really nice things about Fjord. Like in some matches, especially when there's artillery, which again for Sea Rivals there is no artillery. In some matches you just see with Falco with artillery that it only comes down to one push on the A because so many towers got destroyed. Right? That's boring gameplay for sure.
Yeah, and
Totally
also like
totally
the,
different
the
value.
amount of time you have to get Ace is actually super
Mm-hmm.
low.
Yeah, it's true.
This just makes the game like super aggressive, and this makes it super fun. I really like the map
Yeah, yeah,
because of that.
and you can also really snowball the map, right? If you get A and you go like C is almost undefendable, and then even the last point is as always feels like a 50-50 because we've seen successful defenses on Howling Fjord, base point, but also very successful attacks.
Yeah, I would say the endpoint looks pretty simple, but it's actually not.
Mm-hmm.
It's yeah, it took us a little bit also to identify things about this endpoint. I think
Mm-hmm.
the last thing I learned was on the last time when I played on it, and that was actually losing against Keyboard Warriors, the 3-1,
Mm-hmm.
when we lost our offense, where we're like even more comfortable on the defense, and we just did a really big mistakes which we didn't identify before as like this big mistake. It was just fine. Doing this or doing it not. It was just like okay, but we just got punished so hard that we have a really really much better read on the map, even after the one time loss against Keyboard Warriors in the one
Mm-hmm.
out of 4 games there.
Yeah. Yeah, so good. For those who haven't been able to watch that series, like I just have to say it. It's actually I used to have a YouTube channel where I kept where I made highlights of most of the CBLs and all the big tournaments. It's CB highlights, if I remember correctly. The whole series is still on there, so definitely go and watch it if you want to check it out. It's really cool series. I believe it might be the best we've ever had. So yeah, we've been talking about it a lot at least.
Was super fun since like
Yeah.
EG's in the finals been like also the underdogs
Mm-hmm.
the
Yeah,
entire
that's
time
true.
because like, there was like almost no believers. There was some. I remember those guys as well because it was really nice to have a little support. But like
Mm-hmm.
the underdog position, like I can just say that from experience is the best.
Yeah,
It's just the best.
yeah, I get it, and I suppose that's also why you try to talk yourself into G tier and stuff like this. But we got to be realistic, I feel, and definitely give you the credits that you deserve with the Endgame team. All right, talking about the other maps then. So this season, for those who don't know it, we have a different rotation than we had last 2 seasons. Last 2 seasons was very heavy on the teams. Some teams like it, but in the end, I believe it was a bit too hard, where we had a different map every single week, which is really interesting, but also a bit hard to prepare. So this time we have Howling Fjord week 1, then Whiteout Fort, Hidden City, Core Castle, and then we have a second rotations of those 3 maps. So Whiteout Fort, Hidden City, Core Castle, and then Tour of Varus will be the playoff map for the Rustic division. So Core Castle, Whiteout Fort, and Hidden City. Any of those maps, is any of those maps specific for you that you feel like is really interesting? White Oak Fort hasn't been played in a tournament before, I believe. Hidden City is quite new, and Core Castle is a really well-known tournament map.
That's a good balance.
Yeah.
From my point of view, that's really nice balance. Kura Castle is I would say also pretty balanced map.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have that big advantages for offense or defense on this map, from my experience. We managed to win and lose on both sides already in the past. So yeah, it's a really nice map, in my opinion. It's also not that big. Also seems kind of easy. There's still like a lot of things that you can do. Without artillery, it's a little less, but I think without the
Mhm.
arty, it just makes sure the towers get on quicker,
Yeah.
and you also have more action because you don't have this Mexican standoff scenario all the time, which is also really, really nice.
Yeah, definitely true. Yeah, and we've even seen some A defenses against less experienced teams from teams that were confident, which you can do if you rotate quickly enough between A and B on core castles. It's very interesting, but most of the time we of course see the base defense inside the little fort. It's really strong, and then we again see at the base defense really interesting approaches from the attacker teams quite often, going around to the supply, going on the walls, stuff like this. It's been a cool map to watch in the past couple of seasons. White Oak Fort is one map I really want to talk about because it's a new map. Without giving away too much to your opponents, of course, if you scrimmed it at all. What do you think about the map? I really don't have any clue yet about it. What we will see.
Actually, we did scrum it once yet, just to get a feeling on it. It was a pretty good one for us, but it was bad for me because it's always better if the guys lose on the map. You can see a little bit more mistakes.
Yeah.
But it's pretty big. Like the map is super wide.
It's massive, right?
And this gives a lot of options. Also, like the streets are pretty big, so you don't have these little corners. Like it's a complete opposite to Kura Castle.
Yeah,
like it's straight up the full opposite. It's almost a field battle inside, and you still have the option to take high ground for A if you choose. So you can also just go for one of the outer supplies on the left and right side. Can split the enemy team a lot, and it's really tough actually to say how things gonna play out because every team is gonna have a different approach on the map. Since it's pretty new, and this is gonna be really interesting actually.
Definitely, yeah. And that's the thing I really look forward to having White Oak Fort in week 2 already. Is that, like you said, like the map is very wide. There's so many different. You have the breaches on the side, on both sides actually, which is very unique for a map. 2 supplies that you can cap from the start, also on the side. The A point that is not travelable, which is also quite unique for most maps. And then, yeah, like I said, you could take the high ground, but we've seen, like, when you play sieges on White Oak Fort, you know that it's just this grind fest where you try to get on the A point, but it's really hard if the defense is set up well. Yeah, it's going to be really cool. I'm looking forward to it. So yeah, we'll see what happens there. But first off, Heidung next week. You guys are playing against Baguette Munchers. Are you confident in that one?
Oh, I was like, until I would say an hour ago or like 1.5 hours ago, I was actually thinking to play Argonauts as the first guy dudes. And then I just realized, okay, they're not in the tournament.
Yep, exactly. Argonaut is promoted to the field division because of the team dropping out. Yeah, true. Yeah, Argonauts would have been a pretty hard opponent, probably.
Actually, we kind of feel confident from like our games in the past we had against Argonauts. We also had them in our alliance last season, so we did scrim a couple times, and we went just against their style. We had a really good time, and we're doing pretty well. So I would have loved to have this one on our comfort zone map against the comfort zone opponent. On the first game, I was just like, okay, like we have a okay start.
Yeah, exactly. Then we'd feel like, all right, we got this in the back. This is a good warm up for the rest of the season. Yeah.
Yeah, it was at least a good environment for players, right? So the excitement is gonna be not as high, which is always good. A little excitement is nice, but too much is not as good. So it's gonna be Crypta from you too. Don't know too many players of them, so
yeah, we'll see.
I mean, we are the old EO2 gods, right? So let's say I don't want to let them take that title away and just prove us wrong.
Yeah, exactly. It's the old gods from EO2 against the new ones. Eventually, we'll see what happens. Like Fury of the Slavs and Endgegner, those two might be really interesting to watch on the Group B for the Rustic divisions. But there's also just plus one Warbus, Paelia Old School, also in your group actually, and Baguette Munchers. So that's Group B. And then Group A is only Caps, Love and Devotion, Crypta, Apes, Chocolate Goblins, Golems Live, Ala Namermi, and Adamant. So that's the group A and B, guys. You'll be seeing them on the 11th of September. It's time to wrap up the podcast. Is there anything you would like to add or to say before we close it out?
I'm pretty happy that actually Super Rivals is a thing now. It's really healthy for the community. So yeah, I think this is a pretty good one. And anything else regarding EG or whatever, we're just gonna see the future. We're probably gonna talk again at some point.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, let's give the players some time to evolve, and let's see what we can do already on the
Definitely
first
true.
games.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the first games. Thank you so much for joining the podcast, Susnow. I'm really happy to have Endgegner back. Um, I feel like you guys might be the end boss for the Rustic division. Who knows? I know some teams might be sweating when they will be facing you this season. So let's see who can challenge the old guard from seasons that have been in the past, and see if the new gods can arrive in the Sea Rivals League. It's going to be a good story. Um, Once again, we will be back next week with the Sea Rivals podcast going over the tier list for the feudal division. So don't miss it. Our guest next week will be someone you most likely will know. So tune in next week again on Wednesday, hopefully. And that's it for me for today. Have a good one. See you on the Discord, and happy gaming, guys.